Hola, hello, namaste. Well, as someone will be interviewing really soon, namaste on Earth. Oh yes, I'm making this video because it's a knowingness. It's been coming up for the last few days, and I've been sitting with it, and I've been taking lots of notes that really didn't seem to be very helpful. I think I've realized that at the end it had needed to be more of a spontaneous video, more one of my rambling videos like usual. I thought I was going, let's bring it into organization, and I'll take all these nice, beautiful notes, and then I'll make the video. Have a little safety in it. No, it ended up not being so. But one of the reasons I feel I need to make this video is because here soon on this channel, not channeling, but on this YouTube channel, I'm going to be doing an interview with a very lovely person who is an innocent master who's been rebirthed into this reality and is living among us. As she would say, no hierarchies. Don't put her on a pedestal. Don't put anybody below you either. But we'll be interviewing her soon. But before I could do that, I needed to make a video about myself. How can I ask anybody about their journey, honestly in depth, if I don't talk about mine first? It's just a feeling that I had that I need to do this. So I was going to talk here today about my journey. Safety net gets to go away. And I'm just going to sit here and talk about how I came to my realization, what my life was like before and after. And we'll see what comes up. As usual, it'll probably be very rambling. I'll probably get a lot of dates and times wrong. As you might understand what I tell you about myself. My name is James Davis. And I live in Mississippi. I don't usually tell people my name on these videos. I usually just start off and just start talking. Because these videos haven't really been teachings. It's not how I saw them, what I saw them as. I knew I needed to make them because it was a knowingness. I didn't know why. But part of it was just to say needed to start talking. Needed to start to express myself. Because I've been a wallflower. I've been a very a hermited-like person. I have been very quiet and standing in the background most of my life. And there are reasons for this, not good or bad, but there are reasons for it. As a child, I found life very difficult. I found it harsh and painful. And I found it even equally as harsh and painful to express myself. There's a scientific terminology for these. I don't remember what they all are. They're probably in my little book written down somewhere. But I'm not going to look at it. One of them, the things you could say I was dyslexic. That is, problems with spelling, reading. But also I had a dysplasia. There's all these other dys's. There's two other ones I do have. One of them is for my fine motor skills. Fine motor skills impacts your entire body, including your vocal cords. If people with this, I don't want to say disability, with this energy, with this coming in with this energy, find it difficult to talk in a natural way like everybody else does. It takes more concentration, more work, and you're still going to mess up words. You're going to get words incorrectly. But also makes you a little bit clumsy. The way you walk, everything's about you is a bit more, not as elegant looking, not as fine-tuned, because you don't have the fine motor skill. Even playing guitar, it was always difficult. Well, I got a guitar deck here, but I broke a string on it. But when I play guitar, I had to press down painfully hard at times. I even, at one time I was playing, if you're a guitarist, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you're not, you won't. I used 13 gauge strings because I had to press so hard. I needed something to press back on me. But I always found it hard to play chords. after 20 years of playing, trust me, there's chords that took me 15 years to play. Like a chord like this, I couldn't play that for the first 15 years of playing guitar. And any musician out there will know this is a guitar most guitarists learn in the first week, month, year of playing. It's a very common power chord. I always had to play power chords. Oh, so I haven't played in a while. Like this. You can't see it. And even that's wrong. I can't do it like that. I have to hold it right here because it just affects your motor skill, the strength of your muscles. And you really have to push, and it's kind of it's more power than finesse. It makes you clumsy. How many times I have fallen walking into my house? Your spatial awareness is off in a way too. It's a very interesting thing. I don't know what to go on over, but that lets it. And there's another one I can't remember at the moment because I have a horrible short-term memory. It's one of the other things I get. I've always had one of Adamus. If you're watching this from Crimson Circle, which may be in the future since I'll be doing that interview. Adamus is a teacher of mine. A channeling of Saint Germain. It's all these words. Also, see, I already forgot what I was talking about. Short-term memory loss. Well, okay, now I just. I love this. This is so hilarious. But he always say, as you go into your mastery, you're going to have short-term memory loss. You're going to forget things. You're going to have the spatial awareness problems. I've had that my entire life. I've always been kind of halfway out. To me, I'd noticed no difference. There might have been, I just haven't noticed it. But I've fallen many a times trying to carry things up my stairs into my house. It's a pain in the ass. I know when I've been carrying a bunch of stuff and I got to walk upstairs, I got to be extremely present and aware. I'm probably going to fall on my ass. You know, I've dislocated my shoulder twice, broken my legs twice. We got a visitor. Come on, kitty. Why? Every time you haven't bothered me all day until I start making a video. Okay, this is Mama Cat. She's just had a couple of kittens. Her name is Elizabeth. Named her after the Queen Elizabeth because she seems to think she owns everything. I thought it was funny. But yeah, so I've had clumsiness in my words, in my mouth, in my fingers. Here, I got some pencils here. I can't hold a pencil to save my life. It hurts after a while. I always hated writing because first off, I can't spell worth a shit. My handwriting looks like a third grader's, and my same thing with guitar. My hand will start to hurt after a while. It'll start to buzz, and it's just uncomfortable. So, was never a fan of it. So all this, I always had problems expressing. I love to draw. I love to do art, but I can't do the fine paint. Everything has to be kind of. I paint mostly in silhouetted items and abstract silhouettes. I can't do the fine detail. My finger hand movements just won't work as well. Come on, get down, baby. So you can see that when you have something like this, when you always feel like you're being blocked every time you try to express yourself. Especially as a child, you take everything personally. I can't speak. People make fun of you. So what do? You shut up. I was fat, overweight, didn't speak well, felt very clumsy, wasn't good with sports, couldn't write well. I hung around with musicians as a kid, but I never played guitar with them. I just hung around with them. I loved playing, loved just being around music. But I played guitar at home where no one could hear me. I love to sing, but when you're trying to sing and get good control of your voice and your fine muscles, the fine little things in your muscles don't work the way you want, you start to shut down, I guess is where I'm going with this. You start to block yourself off to protect yourself. And since you can't express yourself in the outer world, you start going into the inner world. Oh, I had such a beautiful inner world. Oh, I loved it. I fell in love with the inner world. I fell in love with being by myself. Other people can go away because they just cause problems and dramas, and I feel hurt and pain when they're around. I know that I'm not the only one who felt that, for damn sure. So that was my life. It was just hiding. I hid at work. Because what kind of jobs can you get if you can't write well, if you can't send emails, especially before they had text to speech and little computer gadgets that would fix what you're writing. Even when I send text nowadays, most of the time I send it, I look at it, oh fuck, I fucked it up. Because I know in my head what I meant to send. I was like, that's not what So emails, texting, I never liked it. I hate doing it. You can even look at my email account. I think I have like 1,700 unread emails. If you've ever sent me an email, God help me if I can find it. Because I don't use it. I never used the phone before. Even I don't talk to people on the phone. I don't really ever enjoy it. I never really enjoyed the art of conversation because I always felt it was a battle. I had to be so much energy, so focused on what I was saying that you lose the pleasure of the experience. And that's another thing. People who have these things find themselves to be incredibly tired all the time because you're having to put so much mental thought in how you're moving your hands, how you're using the muscles in all your body, how you're... Then there's all the protection mental games you're playing too. Are people noticing? Because trust me, when I used to write, if I had to write something down, I would always hide it from somebody. I never once, there was a girl in school who was like, oh, I read handwriting, can I read your... I was like, no, that's alright, I don't believe in that stuff. Just because I didn't want her to read my handwriting. Because it looked like a kindergarten. I tell you, it looks better now, but that's after, 20 years of practicing, and it's just, I don't know, that's my best handwriting right there. And that's taking time and going slow, so it takes forever for me to write. That's why I'm not usually a huge fan of writing, but every once in a while I get a nod or knowing this, I need to write. For what purpose, I don't always understand. I do it, and I just sit there, and I take tons of notes. I got most of the time I prefer to do it on my phone. I got probably 60, 70 folders in my phone just full of knowingnesses, awarenesses, just putting it down. I never go back and look at them, so I'm not sure exactly what's in there. But it's part of I think the person we're going to talk to probably will bring this up because it's something I'm interested in. Coming back into the mind. Because to me, coming out of the mind was very easy because I went out of the mind a long time ago. Now, I was still mostly in the, what I would call the earthly realms, the mental mind, the mental mass consciousness. I would even call it the mental imagination. Because there's a mental imagination and there's a higher, higher is not the right word because it puts things on a pedestal and I don't like that. But it's just a more freer, more timeless, more spaceless, has no real tangibleness like the more earthly realms have. Because the near earth realms, the more mental earth realms, they still have a lot of the same characteristics as this realm. But when you go beyond those, you're going more into that nothingness, into that void. And it has no images, it has no pictures in it, it has no sound, but you can feel it with the heart. You feel it with the heart. As Jesus said, his Father's kingdom has many mansions with many rooms, something of that nature. Never ask me to quote anybody, I'm going to get it wrong. Well, just never exact. I think the essence of it will be there. But you have all these realms, all these countless, numberless realms in a way that you can explore that are non-physical, more ethereal, that are just feelings. See, I always have problems. How do I put these in words? Because that's the problem. The expression part of me just wants to express it, and I'm like, ugh. It always feels like a kind of a battle. It's something I try to trying to be much more particular on the words I use, because I think in this type of teaching, teaching, I guess so. We'll say yes today. Today it is teaching. Other videos, not so much, just me sitting here talking random, but today, yes. Today I will say this is a teaching. Because it's a teaching by example. I guess the other ones could be that as well, but that really wasn't their intent. Let me just center myself real quick. So yeah, there's all these other realms. I always hung out in there. Now most of the time, especially before realization, I hung out mostly in the mental realms, or in mass consciousness. They're much more dense, much more image and picture related. If I go and daydream, and I daydream about being in I guess let's just go with something in a Zeppelin flying across the sky and just riding in it. You know what? It's more in the mental realms. It's more of a limitation upon it. It has more structure to it. And when you get to the other higher realms, they have a lot less structure, to almost seemingly none. But I would say all realms of existence have some structure to it, to a degree, because it has to have some separation, some division or illusion of division or separation, more accurately put. It has to have that illusion for it to be another realm. If not, you just be in oneness, in all of yourself, because there wouldn't be any separation. But I guess the goal for us is we're going back into that oneness, and we can keep the division and separation, but knowing it's an illusion, so you don't get lost in it anymore. Okay. Getting sidetracked like usual, but I don't work well. I've never done things linearly well. Horrible at organization. I can't organize a sock drawer, for God's sakes. I'm the most unorganized person you'll ever meet. Well, that's not true, but it's what it feels like some days. Like I said, I know I'm not the only one in this boat. I know what it is to be out of the mind, but that's why I was later found out I was a realm worker. Realm workers spent most of their time in mass consciousness, kind of the in-between in airy fairyland and mass consciousness in the mental realms, and it's tiring. You're always kind of out of it. Okay. So here I was. We'll skip over to being teenager me. I don't feel the need to go through an entire childhood, but had a brother who was a narcissist, clinically a narcissist, fucking asshole. I say that laughingly. He's not really an asshole, but it's all right. But you can see he was a twin brother who have fraternal twins. We look nothing alike, have nothing in common. Never did. Except for he liked to abuse me and I liked to be a people pleaser. And you can see how that relationship might have worked out. Until at some point I got tired of it and told him to go fuck off. Said, you're a fucking asshole, go away. If you want to actually change, come on over, I'll talk to you, but until then, fuck off. I don't give a shit. Die in the gutter. That's up to you. It can seem mean, but it's just like, it's his choice. He wants to play the narcissist game of just feeding off of other people 24/7. Well, I could talk all day about him. Tell you some stories. He's probably much more interesting than I am. Oh, trust me, when he gets to the other side and gets rid of this mental idea, he's going to have some fucking stories to tell. Oh, man, you won't believe what I fucking did. I was like, God damn, it makes my life look fucking like a pansy life. Trust me. I don't because I thought that one day. What is harder, living that life as a true hardcore narcissist, or coming into your enlightenment? I think that narcissist life to me just looks much more difficult because there's no fulfillment in it. He's never going to get any real fulfillment out of it. It's just chasing one victim after another, and there's no real fulfillment. There's no real feeling the soul, knowing the self. To me, that's much more torturous, much more horrendous than all the bullshit you have to go through to get enlightened or be realized or be embodied, stay on the planet. That stuff's easy compared to being a narcissist. So I don't say I have pity for him, because I don't, but I honor him. I honor his journey. He can go do his journey fucking over there. I got nothing to do with him. Oh. Okay, teenage me. Let's see. So yeah, teenage years, blah blah. Hideaway. Hung out with musicians. I love being around really intelligent people because, I was dyslexic and these other things I can't remember the names of because I'm dyslexic and words are hard to remember. Well, one of them had to do with mathematics. I'm shit at math too. It's like did I have to have all of it? Fuck. Sometimes my human one is bad at math, bad with reading, bad with spelling, bad with talking. I'm like, how the fuck bad with using my hands? How the bad with organization, bad with putting things in linear structure. Like, how the fuck was I supposed to express myself in a linear fashion? I found it very difficult to do. So I think it's quite understandable that I kind of stepped back, that I kind of hid away. First, one thing, it was kind of I thought I needed protection, which I didn't really need. I just thought I did. Hello, Abigail. You come to visit too? Oh, let me move this. I'm sorry. I had the kitty food sitting up there, and she can't get up to where she wants to sit. Okay. So yeah, I think it's understandable that most people do, and especially it's kind of in the DNA of spiritual DNA in a way. Because how many lifetimes I've had people like me, you, if you're watching this, you've had lifetimes where you hid away in monasteries, ashrams, wherever. You hid away in meditation. You hid away in a lot of different places. Sometimes it wasn't even spiritual or religious. You just hid away in your everyday life because the world wasn't ready for it. Because you weren't ready for the world at times. You know, how many lifetimes you've been a writer or an artist or music, you went into the other realms, you loved being there, but then you brought it back in. You brought it out, that's what Mozart did. I love there's a scene from the movie Amadeus where Mozart's just on at the pool table, just putting the pool balls back and forth, and with one hand, and he's writing with the other hand. Well, that's another thing. Sometimes I'm left-handed, sometimes I'm right-handed. That's part of the physical thing, because you don't really have a dominant hand. I would say my dominant hand is my right, but I do so many things with my left. I get asked, "Are you left-handed?" I'm like, no. But yeah, you'd be writing with one hand and shooting the balls back and forth. We're just having fun today. If we can't have fun, we can't just laugh about our stories, because it wasn't serious. I kind of want to stop here and just say it wasn't serious. I think that was the best gift I ever gave myself, realizing it wasn't that serious. I could laugh about it. It was just a story, an experience. That's all it was. It wasn't even real. Except for the experience. And the experience even changes. The experience even expands. So, and as you do, you laugh. Okay, but going back to Mozart. So Mozart, there's a scene where Mozart's putting the pool balls back, and he's just writing his music. Like I said, I have problems with words. And if you can't laugh about it, then what the fuck are you going to do? I guess you could cry. I already did that in this life. I cried, I whined. But, see, like I said, I can't keep anything in order. This is also why I was diagnosed as ADHD as a kid. I'm not. I do not have ADHD. But it's because it's focus. It's going from one focus to... It's not that I'm unfocused. It's just I'm going from... My focus isn't linear. It kind of comes around. I usually find if you stay with it long enough, it comes right around to the end again. Okay, so Mozart's pushing the balls. That's just writing his music. That's what he did. He's just there daydreaming, hearing the song, just in the other realms, going off the other realm, hearing and just writing it. That's all. That's all it is. You're taking one reality and bringing it into the other reality, just for experience. I had problems doing that. I could go to the other realms. I could hear beautiful things. I could feel beautiful things. I could see beautiful things. Whole realms of art and beauty and painting and music and sound and literature. But when it came back, trying to bring it back into the mind, it always kind of hit a wall. It hit a boom. It always come back without refinement, without detail, without any. What I felt was elegance. It felt brutal. It felt harsh, and not what I felt in the other realms. I couldn't express that beauty and that finesse in this reality. And so at some point, I just stopped trying, because that's really, I love the finesse and the beauty of it. And to me, if it didn't have that true essence of finesse, of elegance, it just felt brutal and mental and clunky. I guess clunky is the right word I'm looking for. Clunkish? Is that a word? But that's what it felt like, and at some point I just stopped trying. I stopped trying to bring it back in. I stopped trying to express it. There'd be times, even because I did play guitar, there were times that people would put me on the spot. Oh, you play the guitar? Well, sing me a song. I said, you don't want to hear me sing. I can't sing. I'm a crappy guitar player. That's what I always tell people. I said, yeah, I enjoy playing guitar, but I suck at it. I'm a shitty guitar player. And they said, well, play us a song. This is not tuned up. It's missing a string. I think this would be a bad idea. But we're not going to demonstrate here. But I would finally, I'd be like, I would surrender, I guess, and just say, okay, I'll do it. But you're not going to ask me to do it again. And I never did. I would sing. I sit there, play one of my simple, because especially in the beginning, for the first few years I played guitar, I could only play this note, and this really bad power chord. And I wrote so many songs with just that. I couldn't do all these. I still have trouble with them. Like this chord, I still like. If I write a song, I have to leave a little delay for me to switch, and it always drives me crazy because I know, I want this to be like this. And even my rhythm, I never liked playing other people's songs because I couldn't ever match their rhythm the way that they played because I could hear it. I have great hearing. I could hear it. I was like, oh no, that's different. That's not the way they're playing. The rhythm's just slightly different. But I could never finesse that. So I always had to write. So I ended up not playing other people's songs. First off, they would use chords that I couldn't play, and I couldn't do the finesse. Even if it was a simple song, I couldn't get the finesse in the rhythm correctly. So I ended up always just writing my own songs. That was my way to get around it. I take the chords I knew, and I wrote hundreds of songs with that. And I would play my songs, and that's at least it was one of my only ways of physical expression. But I kept it to myself. I never showed anybody. I was embarrassed by it because it wasn't what I wanted it to be mentally. Because I wanted that finesse. I wanted that. Because trust me, I have good ear. When I listen to music, I can tell when something has that beautiful finesse, that elegance, that passion in it. And I can feel it. And I can feel it when it's very mental. You can just feel it. It's not just in the hearing; it's in the heart. You bring it to that unity of the heart, and you can just feel it. That's why I'll probably never be a fan of artificial music when it's just made by someone who's just trying to make a buck. Because artificial intelligence, what you give it is what it takes. If you use it with passion and you get creative with it, and you don't let it do all the work really. You use it as a tool. I don't have a paintbrush here with me, but just pretend this is a paintbrush. Say there was a bunch of hairs here at the end of the paintbrush. When you're painting, those hairs aren't the way they move isn't random. Now there's ways you can manipulate it and control it by pressure, but there's still always what appears to be a bit of randomness in the way the brushes move, the way the paint hits. But it's not. It's following consciousness because there is no randomness. There's only perfection. There's only the perfection, the chaos of consciousness, which is not really chaos. It's just what the mind doesn't understand. It's everything coming into you and out of you as perfection. But you can hear that even in the ones and zeros when you're playing with artificial intelligence nowadays. You can just see those ones and zeros that are just kind of randomly appearing, like the random movement on the end of the brush. It's not random at all. It's just following your consciousness, your awareness. But I keep getting sidetracked. I usually do. And I actually quite enjoy it because I have lived so much by myself that I prefer the non-linearness much more than I prefer linearness. But as someone who has decided to stay here as a master, I have to take myself out into the world, be a bit more linear at times, and it's fucking annoying. Because it's like, oh, really? Oh. I'm tired of it. Wears you out. Okay, I keep getting sidetracked in my story. But I think we go places. But so, I was a teenager. I shut down. I stopped really trying to express myself, except for music. That's really one of the only things I still did. But even at some point when I started my real enlightenment, I lost the passion for that. That's why the guitar's sitting out here with a broken string on a tune. I rarely ever play guitar. I think I brought it out here a week or two ago and forgot it was even here. So I sit down and look at it because I'm unorganized as shit. I just leave shit where I leave it, and I'll find it later. And sometimes I find it out of tune and with a broken string, and it got rained on. And I'm like, oh well, I didn't play the guitar in the last 3 months anyway, so I ain't missing much. I don't really have a passion for it anymore. Every once in a while, it's just I feel like doing it, but there's no passion for it. I'll make these videos instead. But always forget where I was at. Okay, so here I was, 20-something-year-old, starting to hide myself away. Never really expressed myself. Never hiding myself, even with friends. Never having friendships, deep friendships. It was kind of like, oh, let's hang out, we'll talk about music or something. But never really had any deep friendships where we talked about larger, more, I guess, emotions or more real honesty to it. This is going to be the part where I have a cigarette. Because one of the things I did that really helped me calm down was when I was younger, I started smoking. It was a good distraction. I did it because, I did it because I was thinking about a bunch of musicians. Everybody smoked, so I started smoking. But I found it was also, it calmed me. It gave me relaxation. It kind of gave me something to do. So I didn't have to think and be in that anxiety. I still smoke to this day because I kind of got to where I enjoy it. But I know why I started to smoke wasn't because I enjoyed it. Because the first time you ever smoke a cigarette, you really enjoy it. No, you cough your lung out. I tried vaping. It's not the same. I'd rather quit than vape. Myself personally, I'm like, hey man. Also, I always looked at it this way: how many lifetimes have I smoked a cigarette? I don't think I ever was a smoker. Or at least maybe a pipe one time, in one lifetime. But never really hardcore. Even then, it was very expensive. You didn't do it all the time. It was really just every once in a while. But so, I don't know. At some point, I'll just quit. It's like anything else. When it serves its purpose, it'll be gone. I'm not held on to it like, oh God, I'm a smoker and I have to be a smoker till I die. No, I know at some point I just won't care anymore. I just stop. It's another thing, a habit I did I fell into as a 20-year-old. As a kid, I never played video games. Never cared for them because I was out hanging out with friends. Even as a wallflower and a quiet person, I was always out. I had the car, so that automatically got me friends because I had a car. So, I don't know if they actually care for me or not. Don't really care. But the kid with the car is going to have people who want to hang out with them because they don't have a car and they want to go places. And, of course, I was a people pleaser. I was like, oh, sure, I'll take you anywhere you want to go. But as around 2001 or 2000, it really probably started around 2001. I started feeling that's just when I went really into the realm working. I'm not going to go into depth of what realm working is right now. If you know, you know. If you don't, do a Google search. You'll find some shit on it. But that's when I started feeling all my friendships broke. I started getting. I felt myself when going back now. I didn't realize at the time. It seemed like all my friends were moving away. Everything was going. I couldn't grasp on anything. I just seemed to fall into a pit. symbolically. You just felt everything being pulled, energy of going. I mean, it's when I went, because I was always a little bit inward, always imaginative, but this is when I went really inward, and everything kind of got cut off. And I fell into kind of just going to work and coming home. That's all I ever did. I stopped going out. I started getting crazy anxiety from leaving the house. Crazy anxiety driving. You know, today I DoorDash. I do a lot of DoorDashing because I didn't like driving because, you know, I don't have fine motor control. And so I always had to be really conscious and spatial. So I was always kind of paranoid about driving. Even though I drove everybody around, it always helped when I had a bunch of people in the car because they distracted me from it. And now here I had to sit with myself. I had to sit with my anxiety. And so I just stopped wanting to go out of the house. I stopped wanting to leave. I just went to work, came home, didn't talk to anybody. At times I had roommates, but we weren't friends. We just paid the bills. I'd go to my room, they'd go to their room. But we had no real friendship or anything. That's when I started playing video games. Playing the video games hardcore because it was an escapism. Get you out of the mind at least for a couple hours, because when you're always in that mass consciousness, when you're in that near earth realms all day, kind of playing the battles back, because I wasn't really going out a lot into at least not into my awareness. It was mostly in that near earth realms, in that mass consciousness, in that duality, in that conflict. And it was like, playing scenarios back and forth, a lot of processing it, just everything being processed. Now I know what it was doing, because I think there was like 10 years straight I watched the news, not because I cared about what was happening, it's just because I was trying to understand the world. And I didn't never, not taking a side, just watching Republicans and Democrats go back and forth. I was looking for anything just to escape. If I can sit there for 8 hours and play Grand Theft Auto, that was relieving. That was but like I said, at some point I couldn't do that anymore. That was closer to my realization. Actually, I think I played video games till after my realization. I have horrible memory, so don't ask me. Absolutely horrible. But yeah, around this time too, I broke my leg. This is the second time I broke my leg. I broke one of my legs when I was 14. The other one, because I had a guy at work wanted me to go skateboarding. And I was like, I didn't want to do it because I was going into the anxiety phase. I was like, okay, but I also thought, well, I don't want to be. I felt myself being pushed in, and I wanted to fight against it. So I said, okay, I'll do this because I don't want to be in this loneness with myself all the time. So I said, all right, I'll go try it. I said, I have two left feet. I don't know if I can skateboard. I couldn't skateboard. But put it this way, first we were there for 30 minutes. I broke my leg, went down a big flip. Then of course hospital, and of course breaking my leg. The time I get my leg got out of the cast and everything, all my friends had moved away. Everything, I was the isolation, and actually trying to get out of the isolation just took me even deeper into it, you could say. Because I spent a lot of time pain medicine at my mom's house, just but that's when my life changed. There I was at 21, 22. No, I've been at 20. I think I broke my leg when I was 19, so I've been 20 probably when it was healed. Yeah, because that apartment I had by myself. I'm going back and trying to remember dates here, guys. I know this Rolodex is kind of like it's a very abstract Rolodex I got. But yeah, I've been about 20. Because this was before 2001. And so after that's when I went deep into it. And I stayed there probably until now. Or close to now. I started coming out of it probably around the time Heaven's Cross. Because when I started making these videos was a little bit before Heaven's Cross. I didn't know Heaven's Cross was coming. I just was told, I remember getting a notice, you just start making these videos. I was like, videos? Because for someone who doesn't like talking, who doesn't like speaking, because I know I'm going to say things incorrectly. I know I'm going to mispronounce words. I know I don't have a natural talk. I know that my when I do talk to people, sometimes it's out of order. It's I have dyslexic of the mouth. And it doesn't make sense to a lot of people. And, usually if I say something weird like that and I'm at work or something, I'll just laugh it off like I meant to, like it was a joke. I've done that in the past quite a bit. Oh, you're weird, man. That's hilarious. You hear what James said? I'm like, yeah. And I just play along like I was fucking around. Really, I was like, well, fuck. What did But I had to make these videos. And it said, just start talking. Just sit here, turn the camera on, hit record, and just start talking. And so that's what I did. I was like, what do I talk about? She said, well, talk about whatever you're passionate about. And enlightenment, realization is the only thing I'm really passionate about anymore. So that's what I talked about. That's why I said these weren't really teachings. I was asked, someone called these teachings, and I said, no, they're not. Well, they weren't until they are. Because it was really just me just sitting there and rambling on because I had a knowingness to do it. And I would only do it when I had the knowingness. Didn't force it, didn't try to effort at it. And I would just sit here and start talking. It makes it a lot easier because now I can do this. I'm actually quite comfortable. I mean, you go watch my first video. Dare you. It probably makes no sense. I have no clue what I talked about. I don't remember 90% of these videos. I'll have kind of an idea of, I think I talked about that in a video. When, where, what it was, what I said around it. I have no clue. They're like constant, they're just streams of consciousness. That's why I said I don't know how anybody would watch any of them. They're just so all over the place. Even someone like me who loves abstractness is like, ugh, I like a little structure in my stories. I don't know, it's kind of like, I guess it's like watching. Do you want to watch a movie that's linear in order, or do you want to watch something like Memento or Pulp Fiction, which jumps out of order, starts at the end, goes to the beginning, and jumps all around, or plays in reverse? It's a lot of times what it feels like these videos have been. I never know what I don't even know what they're going to be until I hit the record button some days. Like I said, sometimes when I make these videos, I knew what they were, and sometimes I don't. Like today, like this video, I for the last few days, I've been feeling, okay, I have to make this video before I can do the interview I'm going to be doing here soon. Because I started to sit down and feel into the interview, and feel into what kind of questions would be good to ask. And I started taking similar notes in a different notebook, but there's several notes like these where I just started taking, just putting things came in, just kind of being airy-fairy about it, just letting it come, just writing a little thing here and there. Then I started to realize, looking at what I was writing, and say, well, this is really going to be good. These aren't questions, because if you are watching, the person who I'm going to be interviewing soon, I think the interview is going to be about 3 topics, is what I was feeling into. See if I can remember them. One was coming back into the mind. The other is living the new life, as she calls it. And there's a third one. It's there somewhere. I'll remember it later. That's why I wrote it down somewhere. Because I have horrendous memory. That's what I said. Dama said, You're gonna experience some memory loss and some confusion of memory, confusional things. Oh, I was like, I've had that my entire life. Fuck. Is it gonna get worse? Is what my question was. So I don't know if it can get worse. I just realized that I already had a smoke. Trust me, when I'm out into the other realms, I smoke more cigarettes. I find it grounding, but I've sit here for an hour and realized I smoked an entire pack of cigarettes in an hour, which is, to me, boggling. I'm like, how the hell did I smoke entire cigarettes in an hour? Without even realizing it. Being completely out of my goddamn mind. And because I find it grounding, because usually smoking a pack a day is a lot. But smoking a whole pack in an hour, I was like, I just wouldn't bother these before I sat down. and they're empty. And I go, it's a different pack? Trust me. When you get out of the mind, you like time and everything, just like, what the fuck happened? Oh, back to my incoherent story. At times it seems incoherent, but it is. It's just all over the place. It's happening right now. I guess that's one of the points I want to make out is my birth is happening right now. That childhood I had with the narcissist brother is happening right now. The teenage me who closed down, to the young adult me who really went inside and went internal, started doing the realm work, and just really shut down and didn't do anything. Didn't get on the internet. I did get on the internet and look things up, but I never taught. I didn't comment. I didn't ask for advice. I didn't ask for help because I didn't want anybody. I didn't want to be seen because I spent most of my life just hoping to be invisible, hoping not to be seen. That's why making these videos seemed, to a point to myself, seems quite strange. But you just follow the nos, the knowingness, and just see where it goes. Fuck it. At some point, you just gotta say, fuck it. Story's a story, but life is life. And I'd rather live life than playing a story. Oh, I think that's the truest thing I've said in this whole video. Stories are just stories, and I'd rather live life than playing a story. So, I never got to my enlightenment, my realization. I just realized I still got a long ways to go. Or do I? Journeys are strange that way. They seem long and harsh and endless at times, but when you go back and look at them, it was really short. It was so short. How did I get so panicked at times when it was over like that? Okay, so there I was in my 20s and through my 30s. I was, very shut down. Most of the time, coming home, sleeping, being exhausted. Always exhausted all the time. Every days I just stayed in bed. My days off, I just slept, or I'd play a video game, or I would zone out in front of the TV. There was a time where I watched tons of movies. This is before Netflix. Oh, man, I would have wished I had Netflix back then. I used to have to go to the Texas. We had the movie trading company. And you could go there. I still had VHS this time because I had a DVD player, but I always bought the VHS because they were cheaper. Because I never had a good job. I was always fucking broke. I always hid away because even in my jobs, when I worked for Target as a receiver, they called me the lone wolf because I was always hidden in the back of the store and didn't talk to anybody and was very quiet. So they called, hey, lone wolf, what's up? And I was like, oh, and I'm probably mumbled like this, and I didn't talk out loud. I was very quiet, hey, how y'all doing today? I didn't speak out. I had no passion. No desire for life. At that point, I was, I think I was told once, most people are choosing not to die, but they're not choosing to live. So they're not dying, but they're not living. So they're in this in-between purgatory, this in-between blandness. And that's where I lived for 20-something years. In this blandness, watching, going to the video trading company and buying, what was it? It was like 5 movies for $10 or something on VHS, and I'm just buying every old movie I could watch. I watched. There's probably, if you go back to a certain time point, nowadays I can't really watch most movies anymore. I used to love it, and I can't watch them because it just. Very rarely do I find a movie I really enjoy and watch anymore. But I used to watch a ton of it, all kinds of movies, everything except for horror. I could never do horror movies. But a good comedy or a good drama, a love story, I didn't care. Just something to distract me, something to get me out of the mind, out of the mass consciousness and that ickiness for being exhausted and tired, to make me forget I had this body that I didn't care for, that I didn't love. Did I talk about the denial of the body yet? I don't think I did. We can talk about it later. But we'll try to remember to do it. Well, we'll talk about it now while I remember it. Like I said, I keep jumping on. I kind of want to keep something in a linear path, but fuck it. Fuck it. At times. Just go with it. Oh, but it's been... I can't remember if I talked about this or not. If I did, I'll talk about it again. Because I spent, like so many people, if you're watching this video, you're on the spiritual path at one point. You spent lifetimes meditating, lifetimes in monasteries, taking vows of silence, in ashrams, and all these different acts of denial of the body, denial of the physical, denial of the humanness. Even if you were just not even a spiritual or religious person who thought the human was the sinner, was the evil one, the bad one. And we needed to deny the human joys, deny the human passion. It's easy to see why people who do that lifetime after lifetime and collect and accumulate all this energy, this unresolved energy, bring it into this lifetime, needs to be resolved. How do you think it's going to come up? You're going to be taken into exactly what you created, which is denial of the body. Oh, my body, I denied it. Therefore, my nervous system didn't have that finesse to it anymore. It's the hatred of the human self. That's what I did. That's what I was doing for so many lifetimes. To get out of the mind, it's so focused on denial of thought, denial of linearity, denial of physicalness. To get out of the body, to get into the other realms, to escape there. Well, I got there. Then I realized, oh shit, the human body's in shit trouble now. Now I got out there. Oh great, but I can't bring back and express what I want anymore. Because I took the body for granted. I thought it would just be there when I came back. I said I hated it. I hate you so much, and there it goes. It took on those attributes. You can laugh about it. Don't take it so seriously. If I took things seriously anymore, I'd be depressed. Instead, I'm joyful. I'm in bliss. I'm just happy to be alive. Oh, I'd like to have some more money, though. I wouldn't turn it down. But that's, yeah. I don't want to say. I think if you've been through those, like, you know what I'm talking about. Lifetimes is just hating the self, hating the human, thinking the human was less than. The human was the part that made you demon-like. It had all the bad attributes. The mind was bad. The human is bad. The world is bad. All this silly nonsense, just so you wanted to escape back to into the airy-fairy imaginary realms, the non-physical, where real imagination takes place, where real dreaming takes place. You wanted to go back there instead of having these mental dreams, these mental imagination. It was this desire. You get back there, then you realize, oh shit, kind of fucked this up a little bit. But all is well. All is well. If you make it through this video, maybe you should deserve a reward. Or maybe you're laughing with me, I don't know. Oh, sorry, Adonis. I'm not allowed to say that. Figure of speech. Okay. So yeah, I had back to the story again. Oh, stories. The story is, so I watched tons of movies. I was going in and buying 10, 20 videos at a time. I'd watch 4 or 5 movies in a day, especially on my day off. Come home and watch a movie every night. This is because before YouTube, before you had access to, because I ended up watching, I think I said this before, I watched lots of news. The news, I used to come home every night, just turn the news on. Not because I was political. I didn't care. It was processing it, trying to understand how everything worked. I was in that mass consciousness of shit. I watched so much news. I felt so tired and sick afterwards. But I did it. But that's kind of what led me in. I guess now we can talk coming out of that. Coming into a spiritual awakening. Spiritual awakening. Ooh. Mine was kind of slow, and I fought it. Because I was in that processing, in that mass consciousness so much. That... Hello, Stuart. We're getting more cat visitors. I fought my spiritual... Well, I always had that sense of more. I didn't... as a teenager, I realized I wasn't a Christian. I didn't like Christians. I didn't think they talked one thing, they talked one way, but their actions said something else. So I took them as not being honest. I thought they were just hypocrites, and I didn't care for them. I thought they talked about love and all this, but yes, they just criticized and judged everybody. And I was extremely sensitive at that time to being judged, so I could feel it. You just being around them, the judgmentalness. Oh, what you're wearing, how you do your hair. Especially, I grew up in the South, in Texas, in a small town. We had no Walmart. We had nothing. We didn't have a grocery store. We had one little convenience store. That was it. And you had to drive 45 minutes in town if you wanted to go and do anything. But they were all very judgmental, racist, just not good people. From my perspective at the time, I found nothing honest or truthful about them. And it just left me a bad taste in my mouth being around people who called themselves Christians. So by my early 20s, I already decided I wasn't Christian. I already decided, I came to that and said, I'm not a Christian. Then I was watching History Channel probably, I think it was at the time, with some kind of History Channel video. And it was something, I don't even remember what it was about, but they mentioned reincarnation. And I remember that sticking out to me, reincarnation. Because the one thing about the story of heaven I was told as a child, which didn't go to church very often as a kid. My parents weren't religious. My parents, they talk religious, but they have never read the Bible. They've never opened, they don't own one. But, they'll tell you all day long by what some preacher told them on the radio about how you're not leading your life correctly. There are those type of Christians, which is a lot of them. We never went to church. We only went to church a couple times, I remember. It was after somebody died, usually like when my mom's brother died or my grandpa died. I remember going to church a couple times after that just because my mom would get suddenly religious. And after my parents got divorced, I remember her going to church a couple times. And that was it. Never really had a lot of interaction with church. Never went, didn't really care for it. I had friends who did, who hated it and told me how horrible it was. They were forced to go every week. I luckily didn't have to do that. So I wasn't ever really a religious person. At the time I would have told you I was spiritual because I knew there was something. I liked the idea of Jesus. I liked the idea of, but God always bothered me. It never made sense. And then this idea that you live one lifetime, you die, you either go to heaven or you go to hell, made absolutely no logical sense to me whatsoever. Just on a logical standpoint or even a spiritual standpoint. I'm like, so I always thought, I remember as a kid thinking, so if I die at 15, if I hadn't found Jesus, then I had to spend eternity in hell. But if I lived to 57, and say at 14 I didn't accept Christ, but I lived to 59, and at 59 I was saved or saved again, found again, whatever they call it. Words. They exist. What you gonna do about it? But it just never made any sense. It's just like it just didn't make any sense to me. So I decided, but reincarnation in a way did. So I like that. You at least you get many tries. I didn't really understand. I didn't have the full idea of what incarnation was. It was a little thing I heard on the History Channel. I didn't research it, didn't look it up. I just went on with my life. But I always had this feeling that there was more. There was something I didn't know what it was. And back then, it was before I had the internet. Because even when the internet in the early 2000s, it was there. But I wasn't on it. First off, typing. My fingers don't type. I type, and I'm there with the little dictionary by my computer. Okay, how do you spell that? Ugh. Trust me, I used to have a little dictionary, a little thesaurus I kept in my car because so horrible words. If I had to write something out, I could at least try to find it. Look it up. Thank God for the new cell phones. I love technology. Google, fucking awesome. Google. I'll tell you a word to it, or I can go to my notes and just talk to it. It's a wondrous invention. It makes life so much easier. It makes it easier to express yourself for someone who has a problem with the physical expression. But I didn't have the internet. I couldn't afford it. That was back then. I guess AOL and stuff. I didn't have internet till it was high speed. So it's probably like 2004, 2005 or something like that. And I only got internet because the roommate and I at the time wanted to play Halo, a video game, online. I wanted to play video games online. That's the only reason I got the internet. And it was high-speed internet. But I didn't also get a computer after that. That was before YouTube and stuff, I believe. I don't know when it came out around. But, I didn't really have anywhere to look for spiritual things back then. I didn't know where to look. You didn't catch me in the library too much. I was dyslexic as fuck. I didn't go around reading a lot of spiritual books. I think the closest thing I did was like buying a little book they used to have. I don't think they have them anymore. They used to have at the checkout counters. You usually have the prophecies of Nostradamus, or they'd have little weird little psychic books and spiritual books. I was always kind of interested. I'd pick them up, and at the time I was working probably for a retail store, and I'll buy that. Hope no one sees me buying it. But I didn't have any real access or even know there was a spiritual section in a library if I went to one. Never heard the word esoteric, never heard the word of spiritualism, didn't know it existed. If it wasn't on the History Channel, every once in a while you hear them talk about psychic and stuff. That's about all I knew about spirituality. It all seemed like hogwash bullshit to me at the time. I was like, Nostradamus, this makes no fucking sense. You can make this say anything you want. I was like, fuck this shit. But there was always an interest in it. When I did see something, I'd pull it out, look into it, but it usually wasn't. It was. History Channel is not a place to go for facts. It's entertainment, and that's all it is. Everything of the History Channel was especially back then when it was still popular. That was still when it was the Hitler Channel, I think they called it at the time, because everything was about World War II. And if they had stuff, it'd be stuff about Bermuda Triangle, the Bermuda. See, words. You'll figure out what I'm trying to say. Bermuda Triangle or things of that nature. It was usually really bad psyche, really fucking Machio bullshit. Machio means spiritual bullshit. Just a bunch of bullshit. A bunch of... I can't glad of myself I didn't get most of that stuff. So I didn't really fall into any of that stuff. I was like, I was aware of it. Saw the things about stupid aliens, and I thought it was funny. I was never a huge alien person. And that's it. But let's see, there's probably been, might have been around 2005 or 6, something like that. I can't remember. I'm horrible with dates. Don't ask me. A friend of mine, I still had. Had moved away, had come back, and we just never had a close relationship after this. But one time I saw him, he gave me a book, and not a book I would suggest anybody read, but it was a oh god, what the hell was that crazy motherfucker's name? David Icke. David Icke. Yeah, that crazy guy. Well, I'm crazy, so I guess I can't. No judgment there. But David Icke, it was a Children of the Matrix, I remember correctly. It's a horrible book. I wouldn't suggest you read it, but I read it at the time. I didn't like it, but I found it interesting. The thing that caught me the most was the symbolism in the book. He talked a lot about. Well, he was in more of the fear thing, and the corporations all look at these secret symbols. They're hiding it in front of us. All that fucking conspiracy theory bullshit. When I read the book, I even told my friend, I said, I think it's a bunch of bullshit. I said, first of all, if it is real, then we're fucked. If he is right, then we're fucked. Then what's the fucking point? That's why I remember telling my friend after I read the book, after he asked me, I said, I don't give a shit. But the thing I did like was it was the first time I ever saw anything about symbolism. Being an abstract person, a person who sees everything abstractly, symbolism's up my alley. I love it. It's for me. But I like the symbolism. That got me caught. The symbolism wouldn't read, and I started seeing the symbolism in all the different things. I don't have anything here, but you see the pyramids and the sphinxes and the circles and all the different kind of trinity and all the other things, in corporate logos and stuff. Is it a conspiracy? I don't give a shit. It might be people who are just fucking Masons, and Masons love symbols. And they're just having fun with each other. You're going to have a logo. The logo is usually fucking pointless. Might as well put some sacred symbols in it and have some fun with it. My opinion's always been Masons are harmless. Don't get caught into the spirit conspiracy bullshit. No point. Okay, that was one little thing. But I always had this more. But what else did he get? He watched... No, I came with that later. I was having at the time sleep paralyzation, something like that. Another word that's hard to pronounce. When you wake up in the middle of the night and you can't move your body, and you're stuck and you can't move. Luckily, I usually sleep on my stomach at the time, and I never saw anything. But when you're still in that dream state, you're kind of in that half awake, half sleep. You can get hallucinations. You're pretty much just dreaming while you're awake, and since you wake up and you're in a fear state because you can't move, go into panic. You're usually it's like having a bad trip on acid. I would think. I never did acid, but if you did, that's what I think it would be like. You're going to usually have a not so fun experience. But luckily, I never really saw anything because I sleep on my stomach. But I did hear things, and I did have a feeling of things walking on my back. Yes, yes, Your Majesty, come and see us. Do you want to go inside? She probably just wants to hold on. Let me go littering. Her kittens are inside, so she probably wants to go feed her kittens. Alright. So, okay, I was suffering from sleep paralyzation, and I didn't know what it was. So I did. So I ended up doing I didn't even have a name for it at the time. But here's another. I was watching the History Channel at the time, and they talked about how people in medieval times used to have wake up in the night, and they were comparing it, waking up in the middle of the night and seeing demons, to people nowadays waking up in the middle of the night and seeing aliens. And they were saying, well, it's probably just sleep paralyzation. I was like, what's that again? Oh, there's something I can Google, because I had the internet by that time. So I had to at least be 2005-ish. So I had to Google. So I looked up sleep paralyzation. And actually, I think the one thing I found, this must have been when YouTube first started, because it must have been early on in YouTube. And it took me to a link where I found was a guy who was teaching people how to lucid dream. he was talking, and I found it because in the search engine, it's sleep paralyzation was on the road to lucid dreaming. And I was like, oh, cool, this sounds interesting. I was like, what is this? This is weird. And as for me, I've always found that for me to prove something, I just go and do it. If I wanted the channel, I learned the channel. If I wanted to know if lucid dreaming was real, I fucking lucid dream. So you just do it. So I watched this video at the time. Was it? I'm trying to remember the name of it. Well, he taught the wild, which wake-induced lucid dreaming. I think he created a website. We'll get to that in a letter. That was Lucipedia. But so I said, well, let me see. Okay, I'm already having these sleep paralyzation. Why don't I try this lucid dreaming? So I took steps. I wrote down all these different steps, and I said that night is the wake back to sleep method. I think. Well, yeah, wake-induced lucid dream. That's what it is. Oh. But I did that, and I tried it, and it worked. The first night, or the first morning, I should say, because you wake up and you go back to sleep. Then you go into. I had a lucid dream, and it was very vivid. At first, I thought I woke up. And I was like, oh, it didn't work. Then I walked around my house. I realized this isn't my house, or it's different. I looked in the mirror and saw somebody else in the mirror instead of myself. All like had that fun lucid dream experience. Then you feel things, you touch things, you're like, oh wow, it feels different in a dream, but you can touch things. I never had a dream that lucid before. So at that point I was like, oh, this is cool. Let me check out lucid dreaming. So I found he had the webpage, lucipedia.com, I think it is. And I started going there, and then from there I found people were talking about lucid dreaming. Someone said, oh, you need to check out this guy, I don't remember his name. David Wilcock, I think it was. That fucking weirdo. Someone else I do not endorse. But it's part of the journey. You follow all these breadcrumbs, and it leads you into a lot of illusions or delusions, and you kind of work yourself through it. Oh. But I think it was Project Camelot. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. It was all this conspiracy theorist stuff. But they had tons of videos. At the time, I needed distraction. So I started watching all this shit. And they had sprinkled spirituality, kind of. I think Carrie Cassidy, I think it was, had all this spiritual stuff she believed in, and it was be sprinkled in there, and it was just about stuff I'd never heard before, because all I ever watched was the History Channel. I was not caught up into the mainstream of conspiracy, and I didn't really believe it. And a lot of it was just like the David Icke shit. I was like, this is a bunch of bullshit, but it was entertainment, and it was free. So I told myself, hey, this is saving me some money. I don't have to. They got hundreds and hundreds of hours of videos I can watch, just like watching the news. I just did because it was free. I don't have to go to the video trading company and spend $25 to buy me a couple movies. I can just watch this shit for free. So I started just watching all these videos about. I don't even remember half the shit was about. It was all about how aliens are being hidden from us, CERN's evil, or it was whatever fucking early mid-2000 fucking conspiracy theories were popular at that time is what it would have been about. I don't remember. Luckily, I have a horrible short-term memory. And a pretty shitty long one, too. So I don't remember half the shit I listened to. Hey, upsides. But, in that stuff, it was the spirituality part of it. I talked about that. So I started looking at spirituality. I started, YouTube was starting to really take off more and more. And there's starting to be spiritual videos. It had all been like that time period, like, was it? Oh, Doris something. She's the hypnotist lady. I don't think she likes to be called that. I think it's a certain type of hypnotization. But that stuff would have been popular at the time. I was just looking at stuff randomly. It was Bashar, stuff like that. Instead, I was going into the spirituality in the same mindset I watched the conspiracy shit. It's free entertainment. It's entertaining. I don't believe this shit. fuck it. I just want some good entertainment. This is funny. Oh, it's a good story. As long as it was a good, captivating story, that's all I wanted. A good, captivating story. Oh, I loved a good story. Always have. Always loved a good story. We'll see if this is captivating. I don't know. We're we're an hour and 15 minutes into this thing. So, we'll see. Was it captivating? Did I keep it here this long? See, I'm not trying to smoke. Oh, when I get all out of my body, I love smoking. It feels like it's grounding. At some point, I won't need it anymore, but right now I still enjoy it. So I was getting into that. I was looking at the Bashar stuff, because they had a lot of videos. Whenever they had a ton of videos on, I was watching. And I think I started watching some of the Kevin Moore stuff, but I didn't believe in any of it. I thought it was interesting. I was like channeling. I was like, fucking God. I was like, these goddamn gullible people. But hey, it's a fun story. I'll go with it. It's entertainment. Entertainment purposes only, is what I told myself getting into the shit. But there was always that nagging, there's more, but I didn't see the more in the shit I was seeing. It was a bunch of, mid-2000 bullshit. It was all Macchio, a lot of crap. There's some truth in it now that I see there was truth in it. And there's some things I learned that helped me, words. Help me ground it, or to bring it into a structure of some of the things I would feel into later. But in a more expanded and more open way than what they were talking about. But so that's where I was. So I was playing with this stuff. I was looking at some conspiracy. I was looking at some spiritual people just having a laugh, not really believing. I just kept, every time I was like, every time I go, what the fuck am I watching? It's just for fun. But, at some point, the spirituality started pulling me. I stopped watching any of the conspiracy stuff because it's the same story over and over again. How many times can you tell the same story? It lost its entertainment value. I was like, because I saw later on, went back and looked at some of it again, just see where Wilcock and them people had gone, and I was like, oh man, this is pretty sad. Your storylines have really run out. Corey's kids, I was like, oh fuck, man, I can't even watch that shit. It's not even entertaining. That's just fucking sad. Man, if you're gonna be a fucking conspiracy theorist, in my opinion, you gotta at least be entertaining. Come on, give me the entertainment. That's what I come for. But yeah, so it was. I started looking at some more spiritual. It was a bunch of. It was all over the place. I had no beliefs, no real, because it was all just entertainment. I was just listening. Some of the shit was just, I remember one time I clicked on, what is a galactic federation of light? That sounded interesting. Listen to that for about 5 minutes. I'm like, oh fuck, these people are fucked. Get out of there. It's like, that's not even entertaining. Why the fuck y'all listen to that shit? That's just fucking poor me shit. I was like, was never a fan, even when for just entertainment purposes. Galactic Federation Light, playing messages, they always fucking bothered me. I wasn't really a fan of channels at the time. The only channel I watched at the time, I think, was Bashar. All the other ones I thought were pretty shitty. That I knew of. I'm still not endorsing, but there's truth in what Bashar has to say, but it's an opinion. It's an agenda. But if you like the agenda, I guess go for it. Like I said, here I was just entertainment purposes. I was listening to all kinds of nonsense at the time. I wasn't really following anybody particular. I would just jump on YouTube, whatever would pop up, I'd watch. I've always been like that. I was never a follower type person. So I didn't follow Bashar. I didn't follow any particular teachers or teachings or anything, because to me it all, at the time especially, it just seemed like it was a fucking mess. It's like, none of this shit makes any sense together. It's all just all over the fucking place. Someone telling you can't eat this, someone says eat this, someone says don't eat that, someone said, you gotta wear this crystal. Oh, I thought the crystal people were funny. They were hilarious to me. It was like they were Pokemon collectors. I got this crystal for this. I have this crystal for that. And this crystal I take with me on vacation. This one I bury in the soil at night under the moonlight, and then I can wear it around my neck all day. I was like, whatever. I was like, this might be a bridge too far for me at the time. I was like, okay. But I'd say as a guy, I was probably more attracted to the more masculine teachings. The more feminine, let's all be nice and happy together. At the time, I was like, oh, it just sounded all wishy-washy to me. So here I was, just watching videos, distracting myself from the fact that I was exhausted 24/7. I was unhappy at my job. I felt unexpressed. I was hiding from the fact that I couldn't express myself. I was hiding from the fact that I had a job I hated. I had life I hated. I hated the way I looked, the way I sound. I hated everything about myself, of course, because I came from so many lifetimes of hating the human. What did I expect? Gots to come out, so it has got to be let go of at some point. Oh, man, this video is long as fuck. We're just going with it. And like I said, I'm going to sit here and talk until I get done. You can watch it in bits and pieces. I wouldn't suggest... slobbering over yourself is also something else you do when you don't have the fine motor muscles. Trust me, as a kid, I used to slobber all the time. I'm much more aware of it now. I don't do it as much, but I have to remember every once in a while to swallow. Consciously swallow it, it'll just build up and leak out. Trust me, you don't want to be the big, fat, drooling kid in school. Who wants to be that? Yeah, you can see where not liking the human self may have arisen. But it was already there to begin with. It was just coming. You can say it really forced you to look at it, because that's what the energies do. They come out and makes you look at it and say, that's not really what's there. It's just stuck energy. It's just stuck beliefs and things of that nature. So here I was trying to distract myself in all kinds of conspiracy, spiritual. I was still watching a lot of news channels at the time. Just movies, just everything I could, video games, just everything, just to not be present, to be somewhere else, somewhere out of my mind, somewhere out of this body, just trying not to be here, because I did not love myself. I did not even like myself. I couldn't even tolerate myself, especially back then. And when you're falling into that isolation, you got nothing to do but be with yourself, just trying to escape. I probably would have read tons of books if I wasn't dyslexic. I think a lot of people probably did that. Book reading, just reading book after book. It's all the same. It's just trying to escape. You can do it in video games and books and anything else you want. Books are usually a little bit more fun, a little bit slower, a little more easier to go out into the other realms and just kind of relax a bit, I would think. But when you're like me, you're reading like... Trust me, I read the Harry Potter book. It took me forever. I read the whole Harry Potter series. But it took forever. I mean, I am a slow reader. I don't enjoy it. It has to be a very engaging, very entertaining, good book that draws you in, or I just lose interest in it. That's why you can say, oh, it looks like I have ADHD. It's so much effort, so much work for me to read. It's tiring. You have to put in that much effort and that much force, that much pushing to read a book. It gotta be fucking good. It's much easier to sit back and watch a movie or play a video game. Okay, so here I was, hating myself, not loving myself, denying myself, hiding away in mass consciousness, trying to hide away in entertainment. But even that, I couldn't take it. At some point, the knowingness, there's more, and more, kept getting louder and louder. I kept pushing it back. I don't believe in this shit. It's entertainment purposes only. I don't want anything to do with these crazy-ass fucking people. I am not one of them. That's what I would tell myself. Yes, I watch these videos, but I'm not one of them. I'm laughing at them. I'm laughing at I'm just here for the entertainment, for the stories. I just love a good story. A really good, long, expansive, large story. The bigger the better. Excuse me. So there it was. But at some point, that there's something else. It came, and I kept getting frustrated, more frustrated at my job, more frustrated about myself, more frustrated about my life. And it was harder and harder to escape, to hide, to run away from it. Till finally, I remember one day, I remember just sitting there in my living room, I was having one of those kind of meltdowns with myself. And I said, okay, I don't fucking care. I don't give a shit anymore. Fuck it, I'm spiritual. I'll be a fucking spiritual person, whatever the fucking that means. I'll believe in fucking unicorns, goddamn fucking aliens, if that's what it is, dragons, and all this other fucking fairy nonsense that I was laughing at, that I wasn't taking seriously, that I was just taking for. And so, very reluctantly, very unhappily, I became a spiritual person. Then I started, instead of just watching for entertainment, started looking, okay, what's the fucking answer? What are you supposed to do? Because I watched all these videos, I had no fucking clue what the hell they were talking about. It was just the stories I was going into. And so, okay, so what do you do? Oh, yeah, how many times can you watch a video about someone having a near-death experience? And I'm like, so what? I'm like, it didn't do anything for me. I'm like, you went to the other side, you came back, and they told you it's not your time, you saw a light. I'm like, how many times can you hear it? I'm like, I've heard that story. I'm bored with it. Bored. Give me new. I want new. Or a channeler channeling the same goddamn fucking message over and over again. We are all love. I'm like, blah, blah, blah. Fuck you. What am I supposed to be doing? As a spiritual person, what's the fucking point? That's kind of what I was at. And also, I didn't know, what's this spirit? Is channeling fucking real? I asked myself, is this even fucking real? So, I bought a book on channeling. How to channel. It was a thick book, like that big. I read the first page of it, which it said, imagine a door. Then imagine the door opening, then you walk through the door, and you just, imagine the person's down. Whatever you're channeling is there, something of that nature. I was like, okay. And then I was like, what are these other 300 pages for? I was like, that's a lot of pages just for that. And I didn't read it. Like dyslexic. I'm like, I just need, just tell me how to do it, and that's all I needed. Threw away the book. Or I just threw it to the side and threw it away. Eventually, I just tossed it after I realized I ain't gonna read any more of it. And so I sat there and went, okay, I'll channel. Quiet down. Sit, open your mind. Imagine a door opening. Blah blah blah. Well, at the time, I had a phone. I hit record on it. And I was recording these. At first, I would just sit there. Okay, nothing's happening. Then the tics started. Oh yeah, when I channel, I go through all the tics first. It's not a beautiful thing to watch. I think I did a channeling in one of my videos here. I think I did. Not too long ago. I don't remember what it was about, or what it was about, or anything about it. But I know I did one. Never felt really comfortable, because, for someone who doesn't like the way they talk or speak, to have something just come out through your mouth, very uncomfortable. Never liked it. Never was comfortable with it. But I did it. But eventually, I did it, and it started, to my surprise, I'd ask a question, then I would get an answer. I'd ask a question, I'd get an answer. And all the things that I channeled there were things, I did that at first, and I was watching a video one day, and I had a realization. I'm not from Earth. Well, I think people will call it, at the time we were calling it star seeds, but it's really, everybody, I guess, is that term still being used? I don't know. I don't follow all the spiritual circles anymore. But it's a mislabeling, I would say. incorrect or inaccurate way of putting it, but I had the realization while watching Are You a Star Seed video, I think it was. I had an opening, a spiritual awakening. I could feel it, feeling high and bliss. Oh, I'm not from here. I didn't know how to put it into words or anything yet. I said, okay, am I a starseed? What the fuck? I didn't even know what a starseed was. That's why I was watching the goddamn video about it. But I started, when that was happening, I found I could channel myself. Because even when I was doing the channelings, I didn't really feel comfortable channeling other beings or aliens. I didn't like any of that stuff. To me, it was still kind of woohoo, nonsensical shit. I was like, okay, I'll channel an aspect of myself. I didn't know what aspect was, but I heard the word, so I said, I'll try it. Oh, I think this video is going to be like 2 hours. Oh my god. It's probably my longest video yet. You see, if I was more organized and pre-planned, then I could have cut this up into several videos and you wouldn't have to be watching it this long. But then again, it is what it is. Pause it, come back, whatever. Figure it out. But yeah, so I started channeling. And there was an aspect of myself I started channeling. Didn't give a name, didn't really give anything other than it would talk to me. It would answer questions. And I would just feel it. I'd ask questions and I'd feel it. I would just know the answer. It was just like, it wasn't like closing your eyes and channeling. I later realized this was the master self. I didn't have a name for this at the time, the realized self. It told me, I won't get into all of it here because it was quite a long time. It was actually I only did it for about 3 months, I think, 2 or 3 months. But the initial high lasted about 3 or 4 days. They're like, oh wow, this is like everyone who has that initial high. Oh, this is life now. Everything's wonderful. Everything's great. Oh my god, then you're back to reality. Back to goddamn reality. Or there's just this reality. But I was high for that. And for the first part, I asked it all kinds of questions because I didn't understand all this spirituality. I heard all these terminologies. I'd ask the questions like, what is karma? Is it real? Do I need to worry about it? And it would give me answers like, it would usually answer a question with a question. It would say stuff like, I'd ask, well, what is this karma? What am I doing? It would say, do you want karma? I'd say, I don't know. It doesn't sound really nice. Then don't have it. I was like, can you just? Like, why not? You can do whatever you want. It would tell me things like that. It would say, different, and I went into different aspects of channeling. Some of it was that opening, kind of just staying there, asking a question and feeling into it. And sometimes I would actually sit down and do the proper eyes closed, talking, recording it on the phone kind of channelings. But I got a lot of information at that time. To me, it was the realest information I had gotten so far. It was more direct. It was things like walking into your fear. Palladians are assholes. That was a good channel. I wish I still had some of these. They were on an old phone. I never saved anything because I never go back and rewatch any of this stuff. I probably watched it back once after I did the channeling, and I never kept it. Part of me wishes I kind of did because I could play a snippet here and now and just and see if my memory is actually what happened. But I got a lot of information from there. And this ended. It lasted like 2 or 3 months doing this big awakening, and it ended on. I remember coming home one night, and I was always excited to come home. This is the first time I was ever. Oh, I can go and do this channeling. I can do this stuff. I can do all this. I wasn't having to go on YouTube or search it out from anybody else. It was so much fun. It was thrilling in a way. I had this little secret going on because I didn't tell anybody about it. I thought this shit was all woo and crazy. I was like, what the fuck? I didn't tell anybody I was getting into spirituality. I didn't tell anybody I was going home and channeling every night. Aspects of myself. But I started. But one night I came home and I was doing. I was excited. What am I going to get today? Who am I going to? What aspect of myself is going to come forward? I had the aspect of fear. All these different aspects. I had some beautiful experiences. I had one experience where I just felt the love of myself. I channeled the love, and it wasn't wordless. It was just feeling. It was one of those. That first time I ever had that. Heart opening experience. It was really nice. But I was having all these experiences, but there was nothing to. So my idea of challenge real. Like I said, well, I'm going with it. Challenge real because it just felt right. But this night I kept trying to do it. Sit there, quiet the mind, kind of feel into it, and it just my mind started going. You have those nights when your mind just won't quiet. It just there's nothing really in there, but it just kind of feels dissonant. It feels off. It feels. Getting a headache every time I do it. Trying to get a headache. It felt forcing. I felt trying. I felt uncomfortable. Finally, I said, "Okay, I need to stop." I started getting a headache and a migraine. And I said, "Okay, all right, this time I'm going to stop and just go get something to eat." So I decided I get in the car. I go down to. I didn't want to cook anything. Well, first of all, I never had food in my house. I still don't because I'm unorganized as shit. I think I've told you this before. I am. Do not ask me to organize anything. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, shit, I'm lucky to have fucking a tomato and a fucking egg in my fridge most days. Usually it's bad time I get to use, and I usually buy food when I cook. I go out, I buy what I need, and I bring it home, and I usually find out I forgot something. Then go back, get that. Even I'll show up at the grocery store. I want food. What do I want to eat? I don't know. I didn't plan it out. I didn't have whatever. So I say, well, I just sit there in the. I'll walk down the aisles and just, what am I hungry for? And I'll just feel into it. And I'm having hamburgers tonight, or I'm having spaghetti tonight, or having a salad tonight, or whatever it is, whatever comes to me. I say, okay, I guess that's what we're eating. I'll buy the stuff for that. Okay, I was getting the migraines and the headaches. And so I stopped. So I'm going to go to Chicken Express. I miss Chicken Express. We don't have it here in Mississippi, in Texas. Oh, my favorite chicken place at the time. Oh no, it's one of those things. If I went back there, because I did go to Texas a few years ago, I used to love Whataburger. I had a Whataburger, and I hadn't had one in a couple of years. It wasn't that good anymore. It might be my taste has changed. I don't really eat fast food hamburgers anymore. Very rarely, unless I'm just like I'm so tired. I don't want to cook. This is what's open. That's what I'm going to eat. I'm just eating to fill myself, and it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel great, and I don't like it. But since I don't have any food in the fridge, beggars can't be choosers sometimes. If I was more organized, I wouldn't have to eat McDonald's anymore. That's what I'm trying to tell myself. But obviously, yeah. So I said I got out of the car. So, okay, I'm just stopping this. This is where I'm gonna get something to eat. Come home, watch some TV or something. So get in the car. Gotta get to the car. Gotta do the car thing. Did I have a stick? No, I didn't have a stick shift at the time. So we'll pretend I did because it's funner to do. And I just went down the street to the Chicken Express, and I think there I was coming to the stoplight. As I was sitting there at this long-ass stop sign light, it just wouldn't leave. The headache wouldn't leave. I was just trying to ignore it. It's just like I felt something wants to come out. Something wants to come out. So I just said, fuck it. I'll just say whatever. So I did a channeling right there in my car at the stoplight. I remember going, I am enlightened. I'm just going through the experience of what it is to become enlightened. I was like, what the fuck? I'm already enlightened, but I'm going through the experience of what it is to be enlightened. I didn't even know what enlightenment was. I heard the term before, but I've never looked it up. It was something those Buddhist-y people did. That's all I knew. I didn't even know there was yogis and Buddhists and different versions of it. I had no fucking clue. Never asked in the challenge about it because I didn't even know it was a question you could ask. I was like, oh, the headache was still there. I was like, oh, the headache kind of relieved a bit, and I felt a relaxation. Then And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Enlightened? I'm not enlightened. Of course, I wasn't worthy of enlightenment. I didn't even know what it was. It sounded like something you had to work hard for and you needed to earn. This is something you had to have dedication for. And I was like, I don't have any of that shit. I don't know what the fuck this is. So I went on, tried not to think about it, went and got my food. I remember I wouldn't go home. I went on YouTube and I searched enlightenment just to see what the fuck would come up. First, I had to look up how you spell the goddamn word because I didn't know how to spell it. And this is before you could do talks and text or talks to speech. You couldn't do that on your phone yet. I don't think. Yeah, well, I had a cell phone at the time, but it wasn't hooked to the internet. Get to all that, but so I remember I came up with some generic like Buddhist or yogi. I don't even remember what I was talking in cliches about enlightenment and stuff. I was like, went right over my head. I was like, I don't know what the fuck this shit is. Bye. Okay, that was just, I just said, that was just some nonsense that just came out of me. I don't know what it is. Enlightenment? I'm already enlightened? What the fuck does that even mean? Now, this was not my realization. I just want to make sure that you understand that. This was just a channeling I did of myself that just said, hey, you're already enlightened. Realization wouldn't come for a couple years yet. Okay, so I had that experience. I remember going to work the next day, and I was sitting there. I was a receiver at the time. I remember there was in between deliveries of trucks, of vendors. And it would come back to me. It's like a little hunting ghost. You're enlightened. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, God damn, I don't know what the fuck that means. And I remember as I was sitting there, I had this knowingness, one of these really strong knowingnesses I only had a few times in my life by that point. But it was a knowingness. It said, you can leave now if you want. Do you want to stay, it said, do you want to go, or do you want to stay? I was like, what? I remember just sitting there going, do I want to, you mean? It's like, you can leave now. You've done what you needed to do. It's already happened. Kind of, it didn't say to me, I didn't understand it at the time and all that way, but it was telling me it was already happened. I could go. I didn't understand what this shit meant. I was like, what? It's like, if you stay, it'll be helpful, but you don't have to. There's nothing that says you can't leave right now. By leave, I understood it, but the knowingness, it meant die. And really, at that point in time, I was still scared of death, so I just said, I think I'd rather stay. I don't want to die. I was like, this is all very confusing to me. My human is fucking confused by all this. So I tried to put that out of sight, out of mind for a while. I had these weird experiences. And really, at that point, the channeling I was doing stopped. I couldn't do the aspect channeling anymore. I could just speak to them and have conversations, and they would show me imagery and all these beautiful things I was seeing before, and have all these conversations. I was like, oh no! The one thing that was making me happy again, the one thing that I was enjoying in life, it just quiet. I tried to at first to force it to go and even do the sit down. I could tell after a while. I just thought it just feels wrong. It feels like I'm forcing it. Before, there was no force in it before. It was just there. It was effortless. And it feels like, even when I do it, it feels like it's manipulated. I couldn't put it into words. It just felt icky at the time. And so I stopped. So I lost that joy I had. So I'm like here, going back to fucking YouTube again for answers. It's like, but I had the understanding that something had changed with that, not realization, but at that point, I was enlightened. I hadn't realized it, hadn't allowed the human to realize it yet, but it had already happened. If I had died there, I would have had my actual realization upon death. But I wanted to be alive to do it. So the realization had already happened. The opening for it had already happened, is what I'm trying to say. If I had allowed myself, if I had said, okay, I'll go, I would have just gone somehow. Would have gotten in a car wreck, would have had a heart attack. It could have been 1,000 different ways. It was just, okay, if I had really made that, I don't think I could have made that decision at that time. I was so fearful of death, so still not really understanding what death was. I said I wanted to stay, but it really wasn't a enthusiastic I want to stay. I still wasn't choosing to live, is what I'm trying to say. I was choosing not to die, but I wasn't choosing to live. I was still in that gray dead zone. Okay, so that went along. So I started watching. So at this point, I think I found Kevin. Oh gosh, it's been so long since I watched on these YouTube channels. I don't remember what they were called. Kevin Moore. He has a YouTube channel where he does interviews with people and stuff. I started watching because I had to go. I was really trying to find answers, so I was kept listening to people, but no one ever really resonated with me. He talked to people. I'm like, interesting, but nothing was clicking for me. And I think I watched that for at least a month or two. Then all of a sudden I saw it was a video with Kevin Moore with Crimson Circle, with Jeff and Linda of the Crimson Circle. Jeff is who channels Adamus. Now this didn't have any channeling. I don't even remember what it was talked about. I think they just probably talked about enlightenment stuff. I still didn't really know what it was. They probably did. I don't even remember. Enlightenment. But I just remember it was the first time I watched an interview with somebody. I was like, and I had that feeling, knowingness. I need to check out their stuff. Crimson Circle. I need to check it out. I never checked anybody out. I never went to anybody's websites. I just never do. There's been people I've seen like thousands of videos for. I've never been to their website. Don't know anything about them. I don't comment on their videos. Didn't do anything like that. It was very standoffish. I'm just deserving. But this one crawled me in. So I went in and I just did a search Crimson Circle on YouTube and I found their shouts. I didn't know what they were at the time. I started watching one, and then when I look at it, I was like, oh, these are numbers. They have numbers on them. They're different series. Oh, let me go back and watch the first one. I like to watch things in order. If I want an entertaining story, I want to start at the beginning and go to the end. I want a nice, good, big story. That's still what I was looking for at the time. Nice, big, entertaining story. That's what I thought I was still looking for. But so I went back, and I think I started with the first shout that Adam. Actually, I think I started with the last one with Tobias. I found that one first, and then I realized Tobias. I don't know who the fuck this Tobias guy is, and there was no video. It was just audio. I was like, fuck this, skip ahead. And I watched the first ones with Adamus. And the thing that struck me at the time was everything that Adamus was saying in those early videos were things that I had told myself through the channelings I've done. From you're enlightened, you're just going through the process of being enlightened, to it's all about allowing. It told me about allowing. Now, I didn't really understand it. It kept telling me allow this, allow that. Just be open, openness, fear. I had one channel, the Archangel of Fear of myself. I guess you would call it Raphael, but me, I didn't know the name Raphael. I just called it the Archangel of Fear, the Archangel of Healing. And he was talking up to me about healing and stuff. I kind of passed. We'll move on. This video's getting long, and my throat is getting dry. Should have brought a water or something out here with me. So I found Crimson Circle. And at first, I remember that I just binge watched it, and I fell into almost a coma-like state at first. I'd watch 3 or 4 shouts a day. I'd go home, I'd work all day, and I'd just feel exhausted. I would lay in bed and just kind of zone out and watch shouts all day, every day. Not really mentally taking anything in, just kind of zoning out to it. I think we know what that means. What really was happening there. But I finally ended up catching up to all the shouts and watching them once a month. Because this was probably in end of 2016. I think I found September of 2016. Because I remember it being the end of the year. And it took a few months to get caught up on all the shouts because I was watching 3 or 4 a day. To catch up to that, I was watching. It probably helped out when I started slowing them down a bit. But at first, I was just zoned out. I just lay in bed I was watching on a laptop at the time. So I'd go home and just start off. I always hated I hated the marabs at first because they always put me to sleep. I'd fall asleep in the middle of it. Oh no. Watching that many marabs in a day. I don't know if that was the best way to do it or not, but it's the way I did it. I just zoned out and watched all these shouts. Then time I got caught up and I actually had to sit there and actually be coherent during some of the shouts. Were a bit annoying. But then I started feeling into this enlightenment thing. I was like, well, I thought, well, there's the answer. There's the answer that'll save me. That'll fix me, of course. Take me out of this unhappiness that I'm in. Maybe it'll give me that bliss I had with that spiritual awakening that only lasted 3 days. I want that again. That was nice. So at some point watching these, I started I was so frustrated with myself. I was so angry, so self-loathing, so being such a victim, just playing all this nasty energy within me. It just started coming out. It started in frustration and anger and pissed off, not at other people, but just really at myself, just being there and being uncomfortable. You watch that many shouts, listen to that many marabs, zone out that much, it's going to bring shit up. Of course, mentally, I didn't really know what the shouts were talking about still at the time, but I decided, I'd heard, okay, I'm already enlightened. That's what I told myself. Then I finally heard, okay, stop trying to be enlightened. Okay, I said, finally, I was so frustrated, fuck it, I'm going to do that. I told myself, I'm tired, I'm wore out, I'm tired, I'm just here every day. All I do is watch these fucking Crimson Circle videos and sleep and eat and go to work. That's it. And wasn't eating good food. House was a mess. Fucking unorganized. Fucking, like I said, I just leave shit where it is. I would not show you my house because it's a fucking mess. That shirt, I know where to find it. It'll be on the floor next week when I need it. Me doing laundry is me walking around the house looking at the floor. Oh, we can wash that one. We can wash this one. Okay. Hamper. I bought a hamper. I bought a new clothes hamper. A nice big one. You know where it's been for the last 3 months? Backseat of my car. I always forget to bring it in. I forget. Then I go out and I see it every day. Oh, fuck, that hamper. God damn, I need to get that one day. Then I forget about it. That's my life. It's still there. We'll see if I remember after this video to bring it in. I could really use a clothes hamper. I even forget it, even when I'm throwing my clothes on the floor. I don't even really remember I have it in the car. Yeah. Oh well. Makes for a good story. So I was so frustrated, mad with myself, blah, 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 you know the goddamn story. Self-hatred, blah, 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 not love myself, denial, upset, hating everything about yourself, your life, blah, blah, leads you to, okay, I decided, it's enlightenment, okay, fuck it. I was listening, we're going to be enlightened, I can't wait. I remember somebody, I can't wait. I think he wasn't given a time period or time when you should be doing this. And I was like, fuck this shit. I was like, alright, I choose fucking enlightenment. I choose it above anything else. Fuck it, fine, I got nothing else. I had nothing else. I don't have any friends. I don't have any children. I don't have a career I care for. I don't have a passion that I love anymore. I spent $3,000. I've always been poor my entire life, my working life. I've never made good money. But I spent $3,000 on a new guitar. Hoping it would make me happy, hoping it would make me sing. I remember finally getting that guitar in. It came in. I went after work, picked it up from Guitar Center, brought it home, admired it, played about 3 chords on it. I felt so exhausted and tired. I put it back in its case and went to sleep. And I'd go back to every once in a while, pluck it, and I couldn't bring back the passion. I had lost that passion, that human passion for it. here I was hoping that this one thing would help me, but no, that's just another one of those little stories. But here I was. I felt hopeless. I felt lost. I said, fuck it. I choose enlightenment. I can't wait. I don't know when everybody's going to do this enlightenment thing. I don't know if it's next year or it's 10 years from now. But I already knew Doug and the First Circle had been talking for about, what? At that point, it had been 17 years, like 2017. So they started in 2000 with Tobias and Tia. I was like, I don't want to be one of these assholes who's waiting 17 fucking years for their goddamn enlightenment. I said, fuck it. I said, I want my enlightenment. First I said 2 years, and I said, no, I can't wait down 1 year. In 1 year, if I don't have my fucking enlightenment in 1 year, I'd rather fucking die. I would leave this planet. I want my enlightenment. I threw my hands in there and said, that's it. Lying in the sand, I want my enlightenment now. And so I did the basics. I just said, fuck it, I'm already enlightened. And I was stubborn as shit. I said, fuck it. Every time I started to even came about thinking about it, I said, already am. I exist, feel into the fucking, I exist. I exist at the time was still just a word to me. I was like, what the fuck? It was empty. It still felt so empty. I remember, that's the biggest difference I can say after your enlightenment. The emptiness of I exist. It felt so empty at the time. So like you weren't doing anything. Oh, it's an interesting change. So I did that, and I fought, and I struggled, and I, of course, had all my fucking... Since I didn't have a lot of outward drama. I never did, because I was always an inside person, so all my drama always took place inside of me. That's where I was so grumpy on the inside. And I didn't share it or show it with anybody. Maybe some days I come to work and be a little nervous, just want to stand back from everybody. More than usual. But I always try to put on a pleasant, hello, fakeness, How are you doing today? I have that, hey, a very high-pitched phone voice in my know. Hey, how are you doing today? Can I help you find anything? Oh, that's great to hear. I'm glad to see you today. That very fakeness. Fuck that. I don't do that anymore. Well, only when I'm working. When I have a job and I had to answer phones and shit. And it was just more, people want to hear that shit. I can't go into the, yeah, thanks for calling. What can I fucking do for you? In customer service, they expect you to be fake. They usually prefer it. That's why computers will be much better at it than humans. Let the computers be fakely nice. The humans don't have to do it anymore. Let's get this show on the road. So I told myself within the year. This was sometime in 2017. I don't remember exactly when. And so this went on and on and on. And I remember, I don't know the exact time yet. You can probably look up in a shout and find out. But there was a time when Thomas announced, the first five who had their realization. I was pissed, angry. Really, I was when I heard that. Because I hadn't had mine yet. I was like, motherfuckers. Here I am pissed off and angry and frustrated. Goddamn motherfuckers, how dare you. It just made me more fucking determined. I said, fuck, I'm going to because, yeah, I was unhappy and frustrated all inside of myself. How do you think I was going to express myself? Now, I didn't go online and tell anybody that because it was all internal. I didn't go and bitch on forums or take it out on other people. I took it out on myself. But that lit a fire on my ass. I know it was I don't know the exact timing. I don't want to, because you can look up whenever that was. But it was March 1st, 2018 is when I had my realization. I finally had it early in the morning. It probably happened when I was asleep. I don't remember having a dream that night. It probably did, but I don't remember dreaming. I think a lot of people probably had weird dreams. I don't remember. But a lot of times I have always had dreams that have been so just darkness, void. But I had some of those dreams on my way to where I had the dreams of the void, being in the void, in the nothingness, in the illuminated dark, as I like to call it. Because darkness it absorbs light. So darkness, true darkness, has light within it. That's why darkness is your divinity. It is both dark and light. There's no duality in it. There's no conflict within it. So it was I was a receiver at the time, so I was getting up early in the morning, like 4 or something in the morning. I remember it was cold. I remember being like 20 something degrees out that morning. And I had to go downstairs to a bathroom that didn't have a heater in it. A central heater. It had a gas heater. And so it was freezing cold, and I was wearing footy pajamas. Because in the morning I had to come down to this freezing cold. So I always wore those so I didn't have to walk on the bathroom. I had to go into a garage. Well, weird living situation at the time. I don't feel like going into all of it, but I had to walk through a garage to get to the bathroom. So I get my cigarette lighter out, turn the gas on, turn on the lighter. I sit down on the toilet, fully clothed. But I always think it was funny. I had my realization on the toilet, sitting on the throne, sitting on that royal throne that is the shitter. Well, I was tired. I was just woken up. I had taken my clothes. I always put my clothes in the dryer and hit the dryer out. So when I got out of the bathroom, when I got out of the shower, I'd run out of the bathroom, grab my clothes out of the dryer so it'd be nice and hot. Put on. But I was waiting for the bathroom to warm up so I could take a shower and go to work. So I was just sitting there on the toilet like this, half asleep. And it came to me. It said, "Oh, that reminder. Give yourself that reminder." Oh, reminder. Donna said, "Told us in the morning. If you remember, feel into the I exist. Give yourself that reminder. I am that I am. I exist." But don't make it a ritual. Don't make it a something you have to do every day. But if you remember, do it. And that morning, I remembered. Most mornings, I did not. That came to me, so I was sitting there, half asleep. I would go out loud. I am that I am. I exist. As I said the word, I was going to go into I exist. I have always existed. I was never created. Go to that whole spiel and just feel into it. I felt an expansion. I exist. And I was actually, at first I was like, what the fuck? I just stopped. I exist. I am that I am. I exist. And it wasn't empty anymore. It was full. It was expansive. It was these mental words that I had been saying, and this feeling into what felt like nothingness. It felt like emptiness that I had always been doing. Didn't feel empty anymore. It felt full. I didn't know what at the time. I was like, is that realization? Well, realization, I was remember thinking, it's supposed to realize you exist. I exist. Yeah, I do. It's not a thought. It's not. I exist. Holy shit. Then I started laughing. Holy fuck. I was like, holy shit. I realized. What the fuck? And I started laughing a little bit. I was like, that's it? I am? I exist. Oh, I can feel it right now. It's so expansive. It makes you giddy. It's fun. And that was my realization. Sitting on the toilet in a cold ass bathroom waiting for it to warm up. Then I remember thinking, man, what's today date? I was like, I got my phone. Like, oh, it's March 1st. Oh man, if it was April 1st, wouldn't that be even funnier? I had my realization on April 1st on the toilet. I was a little disappointed there for a second. Then I felt into it and I was like, nah, I couldn't have waited. I can just tell people I had it on April 1st. That'd be funny. But I always thought that would be funny. I had my realization April 1st. I'm sitting on the toilet. Makes me laugh thinking about it, but no, it was on March 1st. Sitting on the toilet. Then I realized, oh shit. Oh wow, now what? I was like, oh, I guess I still have to go to work. I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh, so I got up, I took a shower, I'm like, in a daze, because you're in that high feeling after I had my awakening. Oh, that was there again. Oh, that high. Everything was right and perfect. You know, I went over to work and the days got dressed and like kind of just out of it the whole day. Just kind of, I exist. I I am that I am. Just keep feeling back in that. Oh, it is. I exist. You can just feel it. Oh, wow. Oh, it was just words before. Thomas was right. Okay. Man, we're already at the 2-hour mark. Oh, yeah, I don't know if I want to speed it up or we'll just do it as we go. Like I said, I hope you're not watching this all straight video. Maybe you made it to the end, maybe you didn't. Oh. So I realized. I remember going to lunch at that day, sitting in my car, because I always sat in my car and smoked cigarettes on my lunch break because I didn't have to be around anybody. So you sat in the smoking section at work, and then people would show up and bother you. And especially after I had my realization I didn't want to be bothered, so I went out to my car. And I was just sitting there, kind of in La La Land. Absolute La La Land. And I wondered, what's next? What next? And they came to me. Well, first I had the realization, the question come to me again: do you want to leave, or do you want to stay? Well, I don't know. I don't think I was sober enough to make that decision. I was high on enlightenment. Okay, I don't know if I had sound decision-making capabilities at that moment. But I said, "Oh, I'll stay." Wow, because you're on the high of enlightenment. Why would you want to stay? But then they came to. I said, "Well, what's next? What's next?" They said, "Now you have to live it. Now you have to be it." I didn't would be embody it. I didn't know what that meant. I was like, oh, okay. So I went across the next week or so in La La Land. I think at some point the crash happens. You crash back into this reality. Oh God. Oh yeah, I'm enlightened, but I'm exhausted. I'm tired. My body, it feels like shit. Oh God, I still have the job I hate. Blah blah blah, and my body started going crazy a little bit after that. Within the next year or so, I had to quit that job because my body, because I refused to quit the job. I'm stubborn as motherfucker. Oh, I am stubborn. I can be. But I refused to quit the job. I knew it was time to leave, but I had so many fears and anxieties I hadn't gone into yet. So many things, and the embodiment process started, but my body went crazy. At the time I left the job, I could barely walk. Had blood clots, and there was a 3-week period that every day I had to go to a different doctor for different things, neurologist list, all these different things, and everything. My back would go out, my leg was killing me. Finally, I said, "Fuck, I gotta quit this job," because it was killing me. I did finally, and then I went on and on. Got into another job I didn't care for, but different. And did that for a while until it was killing me. Then I went to a different job and did that until it started killing me. And that's how I deliver fucking food and things to people. I work when I want. And I'm at the point where I could go out and be, because even doing that, it's like, okay, I don't work really for anybody. I'm a freelancer. Starting that out, okay, it feels uncomfortable. I don't have a paycheck coming in every week. Don't have that kind of thing anymore. I have to go out and hustle, which I'm not a fan of, but I do it. I'm trying to speed up here. I'm trying to get this video ended. I talk so much. I don't usually ever talk about myself, and this seems like, god damn. I'm going to be hoarse in the voice tomorrow. So it went on and on, blah, 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 till I came to a point within end of last year, came really to the end of conflict of battles within myself a bit. Really had just quit my job. Ended up quitting my job again. This time doing my own thing. And really, I started these videos almost a little over a year ago. Just that was me kind of preparing for that, trying to get where I could do this comfortably. Because before, if you watch my first videos, I'm very uncomfortable talking. Now, I'd sit here for 2 hours and ramble on about nothing. No nervousness, no anxiety. It's quite impressive if I ask myself. Do I speak any better? I don't give a shit. It is what it is. Oh, I don't know. I kind of want to, like, how do I end this video? It's like, because part of me is just getting tired and wore out. It just wants to move on. Just centering myself a little bit, been feeling way out the body at the moment. So we come to this point where I'm starting to actually go back into life, live, to be expressive once more, making videos. At first, just rambling, to this, actually talking about myself. Here soon, we'll be doing an interview. And I think I might try to do more interviews with more realized people, have them tell their story. That's why I thought it was important for me to tell my story, even if it's just rambling on for 2 hours. Just because it needs to be there. It needs to be you need to put myself on the line. That if I'm going to ask someone else to put their self out there, I need to put myself out there. And realizing too, it's not uncomfortable. It's actually feels good. It gives you a high. It gives you in a way, you feel that bliss feeling. It's actually quite fun to put yourself out there. But I'm going out into the world more than I have before. Driving around all the time. Like I said, I used to hate to drive. I used to get anxiety. I hate leaving my house. But here I do. I drive around town all day. Meet people I don't know. Go to places I've never been before. It doesn't bother me anymore. I had to just go out and do it. That's why I think doing this job was actually a really good job for me. Just getting me out of my comfort zone. Make me go out and I'm on my own. I'm just out here facing the anxiety, facing the things that come up, and realizing as long as I just allow it, it kind of just dissipates. It goes away. The same thing with this, coming out and speaking, something I never liked doing before. Even if it's all rambling all over the place and airy-fairy, whatever, don't care. It doesn't bother me. It really does. I can put this online and 1,000 people could see it and I wouldn't care. Because you're losing that judgment of yourself. I don't care what my beard looks like, if it's been combed well, if it's shaven. I probably need a haircut here soon, looking at myself, but it's alright. But I think this is one of these videos starting as, to go back out. They were kind of, at first it was just talking to no one was watching my videos. Still, really, I got 7 or 8 subscribers. And how many people actually come and watch a video? Not very many. Unless I give it like a sensational title, like with duality or something in it. No one's going to come and watch my videos. I'll just give it some nonsensical title. It'll never be found. It's though there was a safety in just making videos. But I think that safety that I create for myself isn't needed anymore. That's what I've come to. Now it's time just to be expressive, to be open about myself. In my videos, I never talked about it. I probably said my name once or twice in all the 60, 70 videos that I created. I don't know how many they are. I never mentioned myself. I don't talk about myself. I always talked about teachings or something else. It was just getting comfortable speaking. Comfortable being myself. I know a lot of people are going to have that problem, coming back into life. I lived most of my lifetime either in mass consciousness trust me, when you get past the mass consciousness into the other realms, oh God. When you get into that imageless, that voiceless, that timeless, volumeless, mass, other realms. It's just so beautiful. Hello, Oreo. You want to say hello? Okay. Hello, Oreo. Oreo's pregnant. Anybody need some cats? There's too many cats giving birth right now. I'm trying to find homes for these things. Well, bye, Oreo. So that's what I've been doing. So, because I'm putting it out there. If anybody made it to the end of the video, I probably should have said this. If anybody has had their realization, want to talk about their enlightenment, their experience, maybe in a much more linear way than the way I have, but I understand it. It would be interesting if I make this video again, because technically I did make this video probably almost a year ago, and I deleted it because it felt so mental at the time. I was so self-conscious at the time, and also I got all the dates wrong, and everything was just inaccurate, and so I deleted it. I kind of wish I kept it so I could have a comparison now, but I might do another one of these in 2 years, 3 years, 4, whatever, and just see how the changes are, how what it is to embody your enlightenment and to go out to bring those airy-fairy, timeless, spaceless realms into this linear reality, to come back into the mind, to go into the new life. I wish I could remember what that third thing was. It's going to drive me crazy. I kind of want to go out. I know it's in my notebook. It's in the car. Because I take notes in my car sometimes when I'm doing deliveries. But I don't want to go out there right now and get it. It's going to drive me crazy. Maybe embodying because that's what I would like to talk about. Embodying your enlightenment, or work with when I do this interview coming up, because I'm jumping all over the place, as I do. Hopefully, we'll see how organized it is. I'll actually take notes for that one. Actually have questions. Let someone else do all the organized talking. I can just be here every fairy and just bring up random questions. But I want to talk about, I want to talk with people about the realization. Well, mostly let them talk. That's what a good interviewer does. They let other people talk. They sit there, they listen, they have compassion, and they might bring up questions every once in a while, maybe ask to go a little deeper. This would probably have been easier if someone was interviewing me, then I could talk. It'd be much more organized. Oh. So, the journey into embodying enlightenment, the journey into going back out into the world, into bringing those other realms here and into experience. That's what's happening right now for me. It's been happening since the end of last year. And tasting life really for the first time. Because, like I said, most of my life I didn't want to die, but I didn't want to live either. I spent most of my life isolated in that in-between, not living and not dying. And now I've had the taste, even just a tiny taste of living. It's beautiful. It's worth all the crap I had to go through to get here. It's just, to me, it's worth staying on this planet as an embodied master, living your mastery. And the only way to live your mastery is to go out and start being it. Because I think I talked in the last video. I think that's what I talked about. I don't remember everything I talked about. I think it had something to do with realizing it's already there. You just have to walk into it. You have to realize the mastery, the embodiment is already there. Energy and consciousness coming back together, it's already there. Now how do you want to experience it? How do you want to have that experience? You just walk into it. And that's what I'm doing now, just walking into it and seeing what happens. It's quite strange at times. It's not what I thought it would be. I think a teacher said, either the last one or the one before our Shad, said, I'm not going to tell you it's better, and I'm not going to tell you it's worse. It's just different. Living your enlightenment is just different. There's no good, it's no bad. It's just a different experience. I would say it's preferable, different, but it's not what I thought it would be. Not when I was desperately trying to get my enlightenment to fix myself. Not when after I had my enlightenment and was going through all the brutality of the inward brutality. I don't have a lot of good stories about it because it was so internal for me. I didn't have all the outside dramas. They'll probably have better, more interesting stories than me. Mine was all these internal dramas, and I was pretending everything was okay. Still playing that pretend game for so long. Oh, I'm not pretending anymore. Like so many stories I used to listen to about conspiracies, the news. They're old stories. Nothing new in them anymore. You can tell me a new conspiracy theory, but all I really see is all the old conspiracy theories just repackaged. That's the same thing with all these old dramas. They're just repackaging the same thing over and over again. Tired of it. Sick of it. Boring, bland, and dull. I did that for so long. 20 years of dullness. 20 years of absolutely being a dull, non-living person. Now, my internal life was there, but it just... In my human life... At some point you get tired of daydreaming. You want to have the actual physical experience. That, or you have to go off into the other realms to have that experience. I chose to stay here. I chose to bring it here. To have the illuminated dark. To have that light and that darkness in here together. To have that, be in that void. To be in that passive void. And to be in the experience, the awareness of my experience at the same time. Be in that conscious void, that conscious passive void, and to bring that active awareness, experience, to have them simultaneously, without any division or separation or battles or conflict. That's what I want now. That's what I'm choosing. That's what I've drawn the line in the sand for. And I will take no compromise. No compromises anymore. I compromised for way too long. Sun's going down. It's getting dark. It's almost, it was just 2:22. Ooh, we have a synchronicity. We have to do that because that's what spiritual people do. Oh, a synchronicity. Look at that. Oh, no, then we just had another one. It was 2:22. I'm tired of synchronicities like that. I want a real synchronicity. I want a true experience. I want to experience a synchronicity. I want to experience the flow and the divinity of myself. I don't want to just see some goddamn fucking numbers on the screen and go, that's good enough for me. No, fuck that shit. I want a real goddamn experience. I want fucking magic in my fucking life. Let's leave it with that. I want magic in my goddamn motherfucking life. I want passion. I want joy. I want an experience worthy of a master. Of a realized, enlightened being. And if you don't think you deserve that, then you're wrong. Because you do. Every human being on this planet deserves that. Because every human being on this planet, words again, is already realized, is already a master. I see nothing but masters around me, everywhere I go. They're just pretending that they're not. I'm just crazy enough or brave enough to say, I am that I am. I'm a master. One day they'll realize it too. They'll say, oh shit, I've been a master this entire time. Alright, I'm going to leave it there. I wish you all a wonderful, wonderful day. And I hope you realize your passion, realize your joy, and bring it into the experiences. Oh, this has been a fun 2 hours for me. Oh, here comes the train. I guess it's time to go. I gotta get some water for my hoarse throat. Figure out how to stop this thing. Sayonara.